In today's video, I'm going to explain how to set up your macronutrients so you are sure that you are losing body fat without the risk of losing muscle. And I'm also going to explain how we're going to adjust those along the way. And the question comes from my Instagram direct message. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Parvella from ProPhysique.com, and today's question comes from my Instagram direct message. So you guys can go here, you can leave your comments on the YouTube, I'll try to reply to you guys. But the good questions that I get that I feel I'm getting a lot of, I love to address them. And this question has a lot of detail and a lot of nuance, and I feel like it can really help you guys in your journey. I started cutting September 15th at 180 pounds. 1 month later, I'm 171. I started by multiplying my body weight times 11 to get my calories. I'm doing some cardio. Calories are set to 1800. Is it okay at 1800 calories, or should I raise it a little bit? I've watched some videos and they recommend a 20% caloric deficit. I don't know if I'm eating too few calories. Also, is it better to improve my cardio? I'm assuming that means to increase my cardio. Body fat, 17 to 18%. So a couple things here. The first thing you mentioned is that in a month you've lost 9 pounds, which would be an average of about 3 pounds a week. That's fantastic. My approach as a coach is to establish where our calories are, our cardio is, our activity, and to ensure that we're losing fat week over week. If we are losing body fat, I'm not changing anything, right? Because we want the body to be able to lose fat on the maximum amount of calories and the minimum amount of cardio that we can use to elicit the response. This way, when we do hit a sticking point, we've got more room to bring those calories down and bring that cardio up. So anytime someone's asking me,
hey, should I make an adjustment?
If you're self-coached, the most important thing you need to do is actually start taking some measures of accountability, probably other than just the scale, right? Pictures and some measurements are going to go a long way. You can also tell just by how you're looking in a mirror, how your clothes are fitting. The real goal for us should be to make sure we're losing body fat, not just that the scale is going down. It sounds like you've got a really good grasp on this and you're making some really good progress. I also really like your macronutrient ratios. So what is important about macronutrient ratios? First things first, you don't need to fear carbs. Why? Because carbs are actually fat burning, okay? Carbs are used in the process of using fat as fuel in our body, so you don't need to avoid carbs. However, you do need to be accountable and understand what are your carb ratios, what are your fat ratios, and what is your protein intake. For this reason, I created a completely free macronutrient calculator where you can go plug in a bunch of information and figure out about where your macronutrients should be. Now, is that going to be perfect for everybody? No. That is what a coach is for. As a coach, I'm going to break things down very specific to every individual. That's why I always set up consultations as phone calls at no cost before I ever work with someone to make sure it's a good fit. If you're interested in one of those consultations, I'll put a link below for that. But for the purposes of this calculator, what I really love about it is it sets a baseline for you. You can go, hey, I kind of have a goal. I want to lose some fat. Plug in some information. It's going to give you a plan. You follow that plan for the week, and it's actually going to break down your macros per meal, show you what your day could look like. The goal here is just to help you have some accountability. Over the course of that week, if you don't lose weight, don't run and come tell me like, hey, your calculator doesn't work. Listen, it's not going to work the same for everybody. However, what you've done after a week of being consistent is you've created now a baseline. If that calorie intake does not elicit a change in your body, well, now you are armed with the fact that that is not a caloric deficit. Now you've got two options. You can either decrease the calories or you can increase your activity. A lot of us, myself included, are very sedentary, okay? If I don't choose to get up and go for walks, if I don't choose to get up and go play sports, if I don't choose to run around and chase my kids, my day can be very sedentary. I can be sat in a chair all day long and just go right to bed and get up right in the morning and do it all over again. So creating that movement for me has been invaluable in helping me maintain a physique that's near 10% body fat with very low effort. I focus around what my activity is like. So you mentioned in your question, could cardio be a benefit? Absolutely. You can, instead of worrying about decreasing calories, which I would say are already pretty low. Was 170 pounds, you're at 1800 calories. You're around 10 times your body weight, 11 times your body weight in calories, and that is starting to get to where I get a little bit concerned. So it's very easy. You just start moving more. You figure out your daily steps, you figure out your cardio, you figure out your activities throughout the week through sports or something like this, and you go, okay, last week I was actually getting about 6,000 steps a day. Let's bump that up to 8,000 steps a day and see what happens. Through this, you'll actually be creating a caloric deficit. Now, the caloric deficit is just the gap between the calories you take in and the calories you burn over a 24-hour window. You don't always have to focus on a 24-hour window, right? Some of my athletes, I focus on 48, 72 hours. Some people that work in shift work. What you really want to focus on is the week. I like to do the day by day. I like to pay attention to each day being in a caloric deficit and setting myself up to making progress every single day. Doesn't mean the scale is going to go down every single day, but over time, measurements, pictures, and the scale are all going to show that you are losing body fat if you're in a caloric deficit. So the bottom line is, don't adjust your plan if the plan is working. You're looking for information out there. The best information is the information you learn about yourself. Trust your instincts. If things are working, that's great. You don't need to make an adjustment. The next adjustment I would make for you, you've got a decent amount of carbohydrates in there. You're not doing a ton of cardio. I'd probably drop carbohydrates by 30 or 40 grams a day, and I'd probably bump up your cardio by a couple sessions a week. Maybe 2 more sessions at 30 minutes or something like this. But the idea being, you make these minor changes over the course of time whenever you hit a sticking point. I call them thresholds. And what typically happens is when we hit a sticking point, that means our body has adapted to our activity level, our calorie level, and our daily routine. So to get through this threshold, you've got to make an adjustment. Now, it doesn't have to be a huge adjustment all the time. In fact, sometimes I find that just, a couple hundred calories, 150, 200 calories of diet change, and maybe 100 calories a day or 200 calories a day of cardio change is going to really elicit a nice response that's going to work for a couple more weeks till you hit that new sticking point. And then from there, you can decide what to do. All right. So hopefully this helps answer your question. I also have, guys, a completely free guide for the gym, for the diet. It's on prophysique.com. You just go down there, hit the books and the free download. I really want to give you guys the tools to do this yourself. I'll also be having a nice transformation challenge at the beginning of the year, the 90 days, where I can show you some of the winners here and here, that we provide the plans, we provide everything for you. It's only $50, and we have a private support group for you guys. And really what we're trying to do there is help you start the new year right. We're going to probably start it sometime in February, give you guys a little time to get the year going. But the community behind that is very important. We create a private group for you guys to be a part of. And something that's missing in a lot of people's lives is you might want to lose weight. You might want to change your life. You don't necessarily have somebody in your corner on a daily basis that'll do that. It's one of the things that's powerful about the internet. You guys found my videos, and I'm grateful for that. So I want to provide a community for you guys to reach your goals. Okay. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Schedule a call with me, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.